Hey, this is Ellie Church, and you're watching Mr. Tony of the Dead.
Hey everybody, what's going on? Mr. Tony of the Dead here, and I have a few movie reviews for everybody here. There's a couple of movies from a couple of different companies, and actually one DVD review, which is a box set, which I'll show you right now. And this is from Mill Creek Entertainment, and this is the complete collection of Kids in the Hall. Now, if you don't know who Kids in the Hall are, they're a sketch comedy group from like the late 80s, early 90s, and you know, they still do stuff once in a great blue moon nowadays, but they're one of my favorite groups ever to do sketch comedy. And this is, like I said, the complete collection, all episodes uncensored, plus the original pilot and season compilations, and Death Comes to Town. And Death Comes to Town is like a movie that they came out with like more recently. But this is on DVD and digital, and you know, let me just say, this is, if you can't afford there's like another complete series out there that's like pretty pricey. I'm not sure on how much it is right now, like off the top of my head. It's pretty pricey. I believe this is like $30. So, but the quality is pretty bad. I mean, I like VHS, so the quality doesn't bother me. But if you're looking for crystal clear imagery, you're not going to get it with this. But if you're a fan of the show on a budget, this is for you. But I gotta say, I do like the box. I like the box. I don't like this. This comes off on the top. I don't like that. And I don't like this. They come in these separate sleeves. And there's a disc on the back. I don't like that. At all, to be honest. I think I don't like it. It slides around, and I think it's very cheap feeling. But, you know, like I said, it's on here. If you're on a budget, this is the one for you. You see the show how you remember seeing it on TV, and it's just a great show. I mean, rewatching this, I remember, because I saw every episode before, going back and watching this and seeing, you know, 5 seasons and nearly 800 sketches. You know, it's just cool to see the certain, like, different things, like like there was the pear dream that was like very awkward and weird, but like so funny. And then Scott Thompson does his. He's like the gay waiter, because he's really gay in life, but he's like he's probably my favorite character. It's hard to pick a favorite character out of all these as well. And Mark McKinney nowadays is on Superstore, and he looks the same, except he's heavier, and he has a higher voice for that character on there. But it was great seeing him. You know, Dave Foley, you see him a lot. Bruce McCulloch, you don't really see anymore. But it's just, the guys are doing something. Like, they always pop up somewhere, which is awesome. I like to see that. But like I said, if you're on a budget, you love the Kids in the Hall, you can't afford the other one that's like on Amazon or whatever, get this one. You know, as long as you don't mind that it's not like HD, or, you know, it's even good. It's not, the quality's like not that great. It's watchable, but it's not at the same time. And I don't want to say anything bad about it, because I love it, and I love VHS, and I don't mind quality. But some people, that's what they're looking for, you know. But 12 discs, cheaper than the other one. This is what you get. Kids in the Hall from Mill Creek Entertainment. Next up I have here from Vinegar Syndrome is Fugitive Girls. And this is a movie about this girl named Dee, who, she was basically in the wrong place at the wrong time. She was, you know, doing stuff with this guy, and he wanted to go to the liquor store, and here he ends up killing the guy and stealing her car, and she gets framed for it, which I don't see how that happens. Everybody's like, yeah, she was with him. She was in the car. Well, she obviously was in the car. I'm just not gonna. She was wrongfully accused, and I don't like that. But she goes to prison, this women's prison, and there's like a group of girls in there, and they want to escape, and then they escape, and then certain various things happen on their way to freedom, and it's. I like it. I thought it was a okay movie. It's not great. It's very, like, the prison just seems so low-key. Like, anybody could just walk in and out. And it's more like a camp instead of a prison. It's just, I don't know. It seems like there's minimum security, and this is like let's go to camp kind of prison. There's a lot of, like, sex in this, you know, things that go on in prison. the scenes, like the sexual scenes, they go on for a long time. Especially the opening scene, and there's a lesbian scene, and then there's a scene where a guy gets raped. You know, it's like reversed. You don't really see that too often where it's reversed. But the funny thing is, the guy was hitting on them first, and then they kind of like took over him, and he's no. I don't know why I'm laughing at that. Rape is not funny, but it was to me at that moment. I don't know. It was just like the reversal, the role reversal was kind of like crazy. And then there's like they run across these hippies, which are kind of funny. It's not like, you know, slapstick funny or anything, but I don't know, just the way they talk and everything is kind of humorous. And you know, the girls are very good looking girls, and you know, it's a decent movie, and it looks really nice. It looks you know, restored very, very well. I dug it. I never seen it before. But, yeah, like Fugitive Girls, there's the cover. I don't even know if I'm allowed to... Yeah, I could show you. That's a cool cover. I like that. You got the back here. It also is called Five Loose Women. And it's not loose in the way you think. It's loose. They're on the loose. Get your mind out of the gutters. But Five Loose Women. And that's the reverse sleeve or slip cover. And this is Sexploitation Signature Series number 4. This is also part of the January package from Vinegar Syndrome, and still available on the website. I think it's worth a pickup. I think Vinegar Syndrome does a wonderful job. And so, Fugitive Girls. Next up, another one from Vinegar Syndrome is Penitentiary. I've never seen this movie before until now, and this stars Leon Isaac Kennedy, who is a guy. In the beginning, he's just this guy living on the land, basically, like he's living underneath like this, like in this drainage ditch or whatever, and he ends up getting picked up by a girl who drives him to this, you know, like little restaurant, and these guys start trouble. And another one, this is another movie where he's wrongfully accused of killing them, so he gets sent to prison, and in prison they have this big boxing thing going on there, like it's like the warden or whatever, he has a brother-in-law who, you know, sponsors boxers, and they have a contest, and basically the winner gets like a free ride. They like get out as long as they stick with the, you know, the boxing career, and he doesn't want anything to do with it. They call him Too Sweet. A lot of guys in there have like weird names. There's Too Sweet, Half Dead, Simple. I forget his name, but there's a lot of different like names, a lot of different characters. It seems like, again, it's a little bit calmed down for a prison, but yet any of them could snap at any time. It's crazy. But yeah, he doesn't want to box, and then he ends up fighting, and you know, it goes from there. I don't want to give too much away, but the movie looked fantastic. And again, I never saw this movie before, but I really liked it. I thought this was another one. I like prison movies, and not all of them are good. But I enjoyed this one. The lines in this one some of them were delivered very cheesily, you know, like a little too serious in a way as well. But I really enjoyed it. Directed by Jamaa Fanaka. I believe that's how you say it. I'm sorry. Leon Isaac Kennedy did a fantastic job in this movie, though. He's a very likable character. You don't know, but you don't know what's going on in his head. You know, he's kind of like. And he don't take any shit from anybody. Just right from the get-go, he does not take any shit from anybody. Even the top guy in the prison doesn't take any shit. Doesn't take any shit from his cellmate. Nothing. Like, he's a very likable character. But yeah, he played a great character. And on here you got the special features. This is newly scanned and restored in 4K from 35mm. Commentary track with Sergio Mims, the second assistant, and Jamaa Fanaka, the director. Too Sweet for Penitentiary. It's an interview with Leon Isaac Kennedy. Filming Penitentiary, producing Penitentiary, original theatrical trailer, reverse cover artwork, and English subtitles. And I will say, there's something in the interview with Leon Isaac Kennedy that he says he doesn't like the term blaxploitation, because to them they were just making a movie, and it might have been low budget, and it might have been B, but he doesn't really 100% agree with the blaxploitation term, which I agree. You know, a movie's a movie, but you know, that's just his look at it. He you know, he just gives his opinion right away too in the interview. It is really a good interview as well. But this is a nice hard shell case. Well, not really hard shell. It's Vinegar Syndrome has this like, these cases are like none that I've ever come across before in companies, and they're very, very nice. They're thicker than the usual slipcase, and they always seem to have at least, like, I don't know if you could tell, like, you see how the glove is glowing? You could feel that it's like embossed. I guess that's the word for it, embossed, but like that. And then on the back here, the word Penitentiary is embossed as well, even though, and the word Penitentiary on here too, and on the side. It's very nice, very like beautiful quality. And then we'll take a look at the inside. Here's some of the original artwork as well, and here's another one that you get. And here you have the DVD and the Blu-ray. I do like that they give the two separate, you know, covers. I don't like when it's the same cover on each one, unless the cover is awesome. But, you know, I think that the DVD and the Blu-ray should both have different covers. But they have the older covers. They don't have the newer one, like right here. And this is an all-region edition. This came out in 1979, but yeah, like I said, this is an all-region, so you can pick it up no matter where you are. You know, you can watch it. But yeah, it was a good watch. I'm glad I finally got to see it. So that's Penitentiary. And last up from Vinegar Syndrome, here we have Penitentiary 2, and another nice, very nice edition. But this one follows Martel Too Sweet Gordon, or Gordon, I think it's Gordon, but everybody calls him Too Sweet, you know, again. And this is him, spoiler alert if you haven't seen the first one, but he gets out of prison, and he's supposed to be going to do his boxing career, but he doesn't show up. He wants to start, he wants to, like, deliver pizza and that. He doesn't, like, or he wants to deliver things on roller skates. He doesn't want to do the boxing thing, but it's like he has to. And while he's out doing this stuff, he comes across his girlfriend that he had before he went in the prison, named Clarice, and she, you know, she's kind of a strange person. I don't know. You have to see the movie. But basically, in prison, who he was in the prison cell with Half Dead, the guy's name is, who's played by Ernie Hudson in this one, not the original guy in the first one. Ernie Hudson in this one, who, if you know, mainly know him as you know, from the Ghostbusters. You mainly know him as Winston. And he's in this. This is 1982, so it's before the Ghostbusters. But he has a shaved head. It's like completely, you know, bald, and he plays like a crazy character because Half Dead was kind of like, you know, half there, I should say. But he comes out and he ends up killing Leon. Well, I should say Too Sweet, Leon Kennedy's character's girlfriend in the movie. And Half Dead ends up, you know, getting him. He gets in the hospital, and I don't know. It's kind of really hard to explain because this is kind of like all over the place. And I'll be honest, it's not as good as the first one, not by a long shot. It's not as good. You could tell they had a higher budget with this because you got Mr. T in here as well. You know, you got Ernie Hudson. Like I said, well, he wasn't like high profits, or I don't know what the word is. He wasn't like a A-lister or anything back then, but you know, they had different, you could tell they had more money. And they threw in a couple boxers in here. Like, I don't know anything about boxing, but they threw in some familiar faces, I guess, to some people that would know them. And you know, it wasn't as good as the first one. Not by a long shot. So I didn't really enjoy this one as much. Not that it was bad. It looked really nice, sounded really nice. I liked the idea of it, but it was like he was all upset about his girlfriend getting killed, and then like not long later, he's hitting on these other girls. Like he's like, I'm gonna fight for Clarice, and that's what I'm gonna do. And he's all set on, I'm gonna do the boxing then because of her and make her proud. And then, like, a few scenes later, he's, like, hitting on his girls again. It was kind of all over the place. Didn't make a total amount of sense. Like, I don't know. This one, it just wasn't for me, I guess. You know, I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. And I probably wouldn't watch it again. But it looked nice. I do really like this, though, this harder slipcase here. And, you know, it's really nice. This is embossed, like in the first one, Penitentiary was embossed. This is embossed. I don't know if you could tell, but, like, the bars are embossed. It just, and like around the edges, it's embossed. How many times can I say embossed? But again, this is as well, and on the back, very nice. And I really like that picture. That's a fantastic picture. You got Ernie Hudson there with his head damaged, and then Mr. T in the background. Like the fist is kind of 3D-ish. It looks like it's coming at you. Very nice, very nice. I really do like this. On the inside here, you have the same cover on the slip, and or on the sleeve, I mean. And then here you have this cover here, and this is kind of like advertising, like Mr. T's in this. You better check it out, because like, look at how big his head is. And then here's the main character, Too Sweet, like that, and he's trained Too Sweet. And then Ernie Hudson's over here with Clarice. But like, wow, they were really trying to get your attention with Mr. T. You know, like, he's in this movie. If you're a fan of Mr. T, watch it. It really isn't a bad cover. It's just I don't think his head needs to be that big. And here we have the Blu-ray, and here's the DVD. This DVD, I don't know. That almost looks like it should be like a cereal box or something. Like it should be like Wheaties or something. I don't know. Maybe that's what they were going for. But again, there's the big head, and there's, like I said, there's the Blu-ray with the other artwork on it. And on here you have special features. It's newly scanned and restored in 2K from 35mm original camera negative. You have archival commentary track with Jamaa Fanaka, the director. In the RAW, it's an archival interview with Jamaa again. Too Sweet on the outside, interview with Leon Isaac Kennedy. The isolated soundtrack, original theatrical trailer, reversible cover artwork, and English subtitles. So there isn't as many special features on this one as there is on the first one, but it looks nice, and it's technically another prison movie. I think the first one was a lot more raunchier, and this one it didn't have what the first one has, you know. But still, I still think it's worth picking up. This came in the February bundle from Vinegar Syndrome, so, and you know, it's available if you want it. And these slip, I'm not promoting it for, you know, I'm just reviewing it to let everybody know, but these slips are limited. They will run out, and they are very nice. Every edition that I've come across from Vinegar Syndrome, you know, that has a slip cover as well, or a slip case. They're always very you know, they're very, very nice cases and very nice editions, and I think they did a good job with this. Just the movie itself, it wasn't that great. So that's Penitentiary 2. Next up here I have from Dark Sky Films is Victor Crowley, and this movie takes place a decade later after the first movie took place, and the lone survivor Andrew blames Victor Crowley, the local legend, for all the murders of like 40 people, and people think it's him, but now he's cashing in on the deaths of people, writing a book and everything. But everybody thinks he did it because Victor Crowley is just a legend, and nobody saw him, nobody lives to see him, and he's the first one to see Victor Crowley and live to tell a tale. But again, nobody believes him. So now they want to bring him down there with a small camera crew, and you know, basically like shoot this like thing going on, like a documentary kind of thing. And while in the meantime there is another group of people that want to make a trailer, of like small trailer for their movie that they want to make about Victor Crowley, and they wanted to get him and Andrew in the movie. And well, something happens, and Victor Crowley comes back and basically goes after the group of people. Now this movie is, like I said, it's Hatchet 4, and it has a bunch of people that you've seen before in it. Like Kane Hodder reprises his role as Victor Crowley, which is awesome to see him. It's always great to see Kane Hodder play, you know, anything. You know, he's just like so great. But then you also have Dave Sheridan, who everybody probably knows as Dewey from Scary Movie. He played a funny guy in this. And you also have Brian Quinn, who's TV Impractical Jokers, who he did a great job in this movie. I thought, and here's let me get this. Let me just say this though. Okay, they did a good job, but I didn't really like, the funniness in this movie. There's too much comedy in this movie, I thought. You go from the first one, who was incredibly bloody, and this had its gore. It had a lot of gore. Felissa Rose is in this, and her scene is awesome, but it's kind of a stupid thing to complain about, I guess, but you could tell it's fake. I know it's fake, but I want to believe that that's really somebody's arms getting cut off or whatever. And it just, you could just tell that it wasn't real. I don't know. But I did enjoy how bloody it was. That's the other thing, too. The blood, if somebody's head got cut off, you could tell it's squirting out, like perfectly squirting. I don't know, like as if there was 3 little tubes and they were just squirting out. It wasn't all over the place, it was psh, psh, psh. I don't know if I'm doing that justice or whatever, but I don't know. And then, like I said, there was too much comedy in this. There was a lot of one-liners in this, and I didn't care for that. In the whole Hatchet series, it goes right in order. The first one will always be my favorite, unless there's another one that comes out that beats it. But my favorite is first, then second, then third, and then fourth. And the one thing I did like about this is there's a secret ending, and it sets you up basically for the next one. There's going to be a next one, especially how this ends. It was what? I didn't really like how it ended either. I don't know, but then there's the end that makes up for it, and it's exciting. But I don't know. I watching the behind the scenes, you could tell they had fun watching it. Of course, you only see the scenes that they are having fun. You don't see the angry parts and that. But so that always makes me feel I feel bad for saying anything negative about it, because they all tried so hard. They didn't even want to do this. After Hatchet 3, Adam Green, the director, was done. He was done with doing this, and he came back to make this, and I was extremely excited for Victor Crowley, and it was kind of a letdown for me. I got to be honest, it was kind of a letdown. Guess I just wanted more, because you go from the first one where there's that amazing shot of somebody's jaw, the top of their head getting ripped off from their jaw, and it's just incredible. It looks like one take. It's done so well. And then you go from this, where I could see how fake the arm was. I don't know. I just think I think maybe not as much heart was put into this one, and that's sad to say. But I was excited to see certain people in this, Brian Quinn. I listened to him on Tell 'em Steve Dave. Well, I haven't listened to him in a while, to be honest. But I used to religiously listen to them, and they're fantastic. He's funny. I sat next to him in an interview. He's a really nice guy, and it was fun seeing him in the movie. And I guess he wasn't really much different than he is in real life than in the movie. Tiffany Shepis, I got to say one thing about that. I think they could have did way more with her. I think she got screwed over in this movie. I think her part, most of the time, it's laying down trapped. I'm not going to give away how or anything, but it's mostly that. And I think she deserved more. I don't know. But Victor Crowley, if you're a fan of the Hatchet series, you have to see it, because it's the fourth one. And then, like I said, with the ending, there's definitely going to be another. Hopefully there'll be another. Because I don't want them to stop making them. That's another thing, too. I didn't really care for this one. I was let down. But I want another one. I don't know. I guess I want them to redeem themselves. But I like Adam Green. I like his movies. But this one's probably my least favorite of his. And the least favorite in the Hatchet series. And, but, like I said, just wasn't for me. I liked some of it. I feel bad for saying anything negative about this, because I love the Hatchet series so much, but this was just the worst one in the series, and it had a great cast of characters. It was a good cast of characters. Too much fun, too funny, and too not enough blood, and too not real enough, I guess. But yeah, so Victor Crowley. Next up I have here from Arrow Video USA is the Gruesome Twosome. This is H.G. Lewis's Gruesome Twosome, and I'm going to say right now, he redeemed himself with this movie, because Blood Feast I thought was, you know, crap. This movie was pretty decent, and this movie is about this woman named Mrs. Pringle, and she owns this wig shop, and it's in this like small town, and there's a college in the town, and the young girls in the college go there, like it's like the fad now, like, well, at the time, to wear, like, you know, get a short haircut and wear a wig. And so she has this wig shop, and here what the girls don't know is, though, that her, Mrs. Pringle's son Rodney and her, they're actually selling hair from other college girls that came there, and you know, they cut their hair off and that, and they scalp them basically, and they're selling them the scalped heads basically to these college girls that like want this big fashion, have this, you know, like the fashion for the wigs and that. And there's one girl in college who is very suspicious about everything, and she thinks something's going wrong, and then like there's girls going missing. They know there's a murder in town, and she's suspecting everybody. Her boyfriend's sick of it, her friends are sick of it. It's kind of like the one guy, she claimed it was him, just she saw him burying bones for, it turns out to be for his dog. It's kind of like, you know, crying wolf after a while, like nobody believes her, and then, you know, more girls go on missing and so on and so forth. I actually enjoyed this movie. I thought it was really good. It just, the setup was like the same every time. They're like, oh, go back in this room, because she had an apartment for rent too. Go in this room, send the girl, and then the boy, her son Rodney comes out and does his thing, and nobody really tries to fight back, which I hate that. Like, they're in a room surrounded by stuff. You can run, you can grab something and fight, but they never do. And Rodney's kind of like, I don't want to say he's deformed, but like he's not all right. And his mother's not right either. She talks to this cat, or was it it's a cat or something. It's a stuffed cat. And but she does this thing, she'll be talking to somebody, and she'll say like, well, so-and-so, blah, 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 that's what I always say, isn't that right, Napoleon? And then they'll show the cat, and it's like the people that she's talking to, their reactions are like, well, who's she talking to? I found her to be really kind of funny. You know, I don't know if she was supposed to be funny, but like she kept like, isn't that right, Napoleon? It kind of reminded me of the aunt in Sleepaway Camp who like would like say something like, and she'd go, no, that wouldn't do at all. Like talk to herself, but this one's talking to a stuffed cat, Napoleon, and she said it so many times. It's kind of funny. But yeah, I actually thought this movie was pretty decent. I enjoyed it. And here's the new cover art here, commissioned by the Twins of Evil. Seems like every time the Twins of Evil does a cover, I always like it. It always seems like they're the ones that I like the most. The Twins of Evil did that. You could see Rodney. You could tell he's not right, you know. But there's like that cover. And here's the original one you got here, the Gruesome Twosome. That looks like a one from, like, you know, back in those days in 1960s, I should say. And you know, there's a lot of special features on here as well. And here you have the inside. This is just like a card, advertisement card. And then you have the Blu-ray, no DVD, and this is all region, so anybody could watch it from any country. But yeah, decent watch. It's gory, and I'm sure it was really gory for its time, but nowadays it's very stomachable. Is that the word? It's very watchable. You know, at least it doesn't bother me. It's still kind of gross, but yet it's that awesome red blood color. I can't talk. That I mentioned a bunch of times in my videos, that I really like, that old time looking, like it's just you can know it's not blood, it's a little too bright, but it just It's like an Italian-looking kind of blood, even though it's not Italian. I don't know how to explain that, but the blood looked really cool. The effects were pretty cool back then. You know how they're doing it, and you know, but it's still fun to watch. Also, the special edition contents on here is introduction to the film by H.G. Lewis, archive audio commentaries from both films, H.G. Lewis, because also on here is a movie Taste of Blood, which is like his take on like Dracula. Then there's Peaches Christ flips her wig. The San Francisco performer discusses the Gruesome Twosome. I never heard of her before, but she's a performer, and she like makes cult films, and really into H.G. Lewis. We got here, it came from Florida filmmaker Fred Olin Ray on Floridian filmmaking. H.G. Lewis versus the Censors, and there's a trailer's radio spot, like a reversible sleeve like I showed you, and the newly commissioned artwork by, like I said, the Twins of Evil. But yeah, definitely a decent edition. Like I said, it looks really nice for, you know, a movie from back then. Looked really nice. But like I said, it's a nice edition, and I think it's worth picking up, and especially if you're a H.G. Lewis fan. The Gruesome Twosome. And last up I have here from Arrow Video USA. It's a film from John Grismer. This is Scalpel. And Scalpel is about this doctor who, his daughter ran away, and it's a year later, and her grandfather died and left her everything, like $5 million, a house, and the grandfather left nothing to her dad, and who was a plastic surgeon, and nothing to his own son, who was in the will. He's like a disappointment and everything, except a dog. He left him a dog, and so now the daughter's gone. The money's just sitting there and everything, and the brother-in-law and the doctor, the plastic surgeon, come across this girl who got beaten up from like in this club. So they bring her to the hospital, and the doctor's going to redo her face, and then he discovers, like, you know, she's kind of like the same height as my daughter. She has almost the same kind of hair. You know, he's basically going to fix her face up to look like his daughter's, and basically get the money, and then he's going to split the money with her, and so he has to teach her how to be his daughter and all that kind of stuff, and try to fool everybody and try to get the money signed over and then split the money. And I don't want to say everything that happens in this, because obviously that would give it away, but it was really good. It was a really good movie. Kind of predictable at times, but then the ending was a little bit crazy and not as predictable as I thought. Like certain things I thought, well, this has to happen sometime, and it did. But it didn't ruin anything. Like, I still was, like, wrong about things, like watching this movie. Robert Lansing, who plays Dr. Reynolds, he is a son of a bitch. Like, he is such a hateable character. He's a very good liar as well. Like, something happened to somebody, and it's his fault. And while he's telling them the story he would think that they believe, they're showing what actually happened. And he's not a good guy at all. Not a good guy at all. And Judith Chapman played his daughter, Heather, and the other girl that he fixed her face up and everything, they named her Jane Doe. You know, because she didn't tell her name throughout the whole movie. It was just Jane. They started calling her Jane. But she did a really fantastic job as well. She had to play, you know, 2 different parts technically. And you know, the daughter and the fake daughter, and it was pretty cool. And with this edition too, you have the option to watch it in the new high grade, the Arrow high grade, or also in like this other graded version where like the yellows are very yellow and the greens are very green. You have an option like that, and that's pretty cool. I never really seen that before, like that option with Arrow. But on here, you know, you have special edition contents. Like I just said about the graded version, different versions of it. You have subtitles, of course. Brand new audio commentary by film historian Richard Harlan Smith. Introduction by writer-director John Grismer. The Cutting Edge is a brand new interview with John Grismer. Dead Ringer, a brand new interview with actress Judith Chapman. Southern Gothic, a brand new interview with director of photography Edward Latchman. Image gallery, original theatrical trailer, reversible sleeve featuring original and newly commissioned artwork by the Twins of Evil. See, now I like that cover. I think that's pretty cool. Now I have this on VHS as well, and I haven't watched it before. I believe it's from Charter Entertainment or something, but I don't have the case for it. I don't have a case. I've seen it, but I don't have it, and I don't know why I haven't ever put it in. I don't know why I never did, but got to see it now. But like I said, I'll show you the reversible artwork now. And there's the new artwork from the Twins of Evil. I dig it. I like the colors to it. You know, her head looks very big there, very bulbous, but it's because it's like, you know, raised up. I don't know, it's pretty good. But I really do like the original as well. I like that. It's simple, you know, just black and white. It's kind of cool, but I do like the original, or the newer one from Twins of Evil as well. And then in here you have a booklet, and here is the Blu-ray. There is no DVD, and it is region free, so anybody could play it in any player in anywhere in the world. And here's the booklet. It's kind of a very weird image there, but you know, the usual stuff in here. Cast and crew, pictures, interviews about the restoration, all that kind of stuff, and credits. And there's the back. So yeah, I was very pleasantly surprised. I'm glad I got to see this. It looked really nice. Like, it looked fantastic. It was very nicely cleaned up. And a very good movie. Very kind of like Southern mystery with horror elements to it, but it's not bloody. Just kind of it's just more of a mystery in a way. But it was like it was very good. I really, really enjoyed it. I could definitely see myself watching this movie again. But that's Scalpel. Well, that's it, everybody. Thanks for watching. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, follow me on any one of the links in the description box below. And if you're interested in any of these movies, check in the description box for those as well. I'll have links to where you can purchase one. And, you know, if you're interested in that, like I said, they'll be below. So that's it, everybody. Thanks for watching, and talk to you later. Bye.